What's up, fam? Coach Cam back again with another video. In this video, you're going to be watching my legs and arms day and my recent upper body day. And I want to discuss how have I not lost strength on this cut, right? So I've cut over 20 pounds now, about 21, 2 pounds, somewhere in there. And I've not lost any strength. How is this possible? Everyone says you're supposed to lose strength. Well, there's a few reasons. So first off, and this is likely the biggest reason, is I don't do a lot of movements that require a lot of strength. I'm not lifting to move weight from point A to point B. Most people in the gym move weight quickly. Most people in the gym lift as heavy as they possibly can. And then the moment the weight is a little bit lighter, they're like, oh my goodness, I lost strength. Bro, so first off, your strength is a byproduct of two things. Your skill and practice at that movement. Well, it's multiple things, really. Your leverages, right? And your nervous system. What if you're tired? What if you're lethargic? What if you don't have pre-workout that day, or your carbs are low, or anything like that? Those are all things that can lower your perceived strength. But at the end of the day, you just have more fatigue built up, and your leverages are changing, right? So maybe instead of having 3 inches of fat across your chest because you dive bomb your bench presses and you have a shorter range of motion, now that you lost some weight, it ain't the same. You actually have to push that weight now. So don't train like that. If you train like that, yeah, you're going to lose, quote, strength, but it's not real strength, right? It was just built up because of your practice, because of your nervous system, and because of your body fat percentage. So instead, focus on contracting your muscles to failure, right? And these are the exercises that I use to be able to do that. And I'm not using the heaviest possible weight that I could ever manage to move. I'm using a moderate weight and contracting the muscle very intensely for most times 6 to 12 reps, depends on the exercise. That's kind of the rep range I'm usually in. And go to failure, keep pushing, and then the set is over with, right? So that is how to train muscles. So even if you're in a calorie deficit, you should still be able to contract your muscles as hard as possible. If you cannot contract your muscles as hard, that's a you problem. Like, there's something else going on there, because you should still be able to contract your skeletal muscles vigorously. Now, this kind of ties into my second point, which is you need to have electrolytes, you need to have creatine, and you need to have carbohydrates in your system from some point during that day before you work out if you want to have the best possible results. You are not going to feel good in the gym if you do not have these things dialed in. I don't care if you're in a calorie surplus, calorie deficit, whatever it is. If these things are not in place, you're going to feel a little bit less strong, less motivated, right? And be able to produce probably less force as a result. So when you go into the gym, you need to be dialed in. And what this has caused me to have to do, especially in a calorie deficit, is I have to shift a lot of my calories before the workout. So within like 3 hours of my workout is when 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. At some point, I have to shift the calories before the workout. And I don't eat that much after the workout because it's not going to change much. After I work out, the next morning, I'm usually holding more water. I'm a little bit bloated because there's inflammation, right? You just assaulted your tissues of your body. So there's going to be some inflammation there that your body has to flush out and deal with. It's not, there's no amount of food after you work out that's going to fix that or change that. If you consume protein that day, your body's already working on it. You don't need extra copious amounts of protein. So you want your nutrition dialed in for the workout in order for the workout to go well, so you can stimulate the most muscle size and consequently strength, and not lose muscle and not lose strength. However, like I said, you need to be realistic with your movements and what you're doing. If maybe while you're bulked up, if you are amping yourself up for like a 4 rep max on like the heaviest possible weight on bench press or squat or something, then yeah, you're not going to be able to do that and replicate that with any less energy or sleep or anything like that. So Don't train like that. Instead, pick a moderate weight and contract your leg muscles. Use the exercise, use the squat, use pull-ups, use the deadlift, use quad extension, whatever it is, to contract skeletal muscles. This is something you can do whether you're eating in a calorie surplus, deficit, or at maintenance. It's not going to matter. You can contract skeletal muscles in order to produce force and stimulate them for muscle hypertrophy. Training them to failure is hard, and with controlled form, that's what you need to be doing, and that's what you can do even if you're in a calorie deficit. Most people don't realize this about the calorie deficits is you're not in a deficit all the time. Same thing with bulking. You're not in a bulking calorie surplus all the time. You're in a deficit when you haven't eaten in a while, or when the portions that you're eating are smaller. That's going to be, you're in a deficit. If you have not eaten a lot of energy, right, a lot of fats or carbohydrates, you're going to feel sluggish and you're probably going to feel like you're in a deficit. But if you have been eating those things, then you'll feel filled and full, and for the hour or two after eating, your body is in an anabolic state, right? It's kind of in a surplus state. So you're never fully in one or the other state. You just kind of ebb and flow, especially think about while you're sleeping. That's a time that you're in a deficit. Even if you're bulking, you can't eat and sleep at the same time. So you're going to be, it's just about catering it more toward one or the other. So having more time that you're spent as in an energy deficit or more time in an energy surplus. I'm finishing up a cut right now. I don't know what body fat percentage I am. I think I'm like 11 or 12%. Depends if I'm feeling full or flat or bloated or whatnot. But I'm thinking about winding this down definitely by Thanksgiving. That's the latest, because I'm tired of it. I have a little bit of diet fatigue. I've been doing this for like 6-7 months now. I think I took it too slow in the beginning of losing weight. I don't track my calories, so maybe that's something different from me compared to everybody else. I don't track it. I just mentally know what I'm doing and mentally make shifts and changes, weigh myself every day. I track my daily body weight. That helps me, but I'm not tracking my actual caloric intake. I'm tracking more like my hunger levels, what I'm eating, how much am I eating. Leave some room. You got to go hungry a little bit. If you're going to be in a deficit, you got to leave a little space there to be hungry. You can't be eating 3 square meals a day, full plates of food. You're not going to be in a deficit probably, you know what I mean? Whatever you're eating right now is what's keeping your body at the place it's in right now, right? If you've been 200 pounds for a year, guess what? You're eating an amount that's keeping you at 200 pounds. If you want to be less than that, you have to eat less than that. If you want to be more, you have to eat more. So back to staying on topic, calorie deficit, don't let your strength go down, because it was never about how much weight you moved in the first place. You already should have chosen a moderate weight and been more realistic with your exercises. Take, for example, for myself, I've been doing some chin-ups with 25-pound plate, and I'm about to add a little bit of weight, probably go up to about 30 pounds, see how that feels. But I have been working on that for many months, and it hasn't gone down. I haven't gotten weaker because I picked a moderate weight. Now, if you're talking like lifting a heavy weight, like 100 pounds for a certain amount of reps, then honestly with pull-ups, that probably would have gone up, because when I lose weight, it makes me lighter, which makes me stronger at pull-ups. So that example doesn't even work, because it would probably make me stronger. However, other exercises like dips, I'm only dipping with like a 45-pound plate. I'm not dipping with like 200 pounds. You see what I'm saying? If you're using the extreme amount of weight that your body is capable of handling, then yeah, anything can throw that off, right? You have a bad day, a bad workout, you don't eat right, you don't sleep right, boom, you're not going to be able to do that. Your nervous system has to be primed and on point, and you got to be practicing that movement. Instead, don't think about exercises and movement. Think about muscles. Think about muscle groups. That's what you're here to train. You're here to train certain muscle groups. So focus on that instead. Make sure your nutrition is dialed in. Carbohydrates, electrolytes, creatine, those are super important. And I recommend consuming those on a daily basis whether you're working out or not. And, for me, I'm basically at a point where it's becoming too challenging for me to continue the deficit, to actually get new lows, and to actually continue to lose weight. It's not like it's impossible, but like, I don't think I'm reaping enough benefit. I'm not motivated enough to keep going. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I want to rest. I want to eat. And I think one thing for me that's another confounding variable is sleep deprivation. So as a firefighter, I don't always get to sleep enough. And having 3 kids and a family, and 2 jobs, I just don't get to sleep an unlimited amount. If I did, then I'd probably be telling you a different story and I could keep going. But all of your stress in your life accounts for something, and it all adds up. It can add up to be against you and fight against you reaching your goals. So in this case, being leaner, unless I was going on stage, unless I had a show that I was getting lean for, then yeah, that's more motivation to keep going and get even lower. But I don't have a show coming up. I need to be ready for my life, and I'm at the point now where it's like my hormones are kind of tanking, not feeling very energetic, and I'm having to do basically like intermittent fasting type stuff to even get my weight down. And then I feel like binging almost. I feel like eating excessive amounts of food sometimes when I've restricted myself. I'm just kind of in a not a good place with it. I'm not in a good groove with the dieting. So if you're in this spot, maybe it's your time to stop cutting. That's fine. And I will be stopping soon, especially because it's the holidays and I'm just tired of doing it. So then I'll get to eat a little bit more. I want to see my body weight go up, not too much. I want to still be reasonable, but I want to be on track for my body weight going up. Keep your workouts dialed in. Your workouts should be pretty much the same when you bulk versus when you cut. Now, maybe your frequency changes. People will say maybe your volume could go down a little bit when you're cutting. You're not going to have copious amounts of energy, but my volume's already low. I do about 10 exercises per workout, and I have an upper body day and I have a legs and arms day. And so far, those are working out good for me. I train about every 72 to 96 hours. I'll do another session. And so far that's been working for me. So I don't recommend training too frequently because you're going to start wearing out kind of your connective tissue and your tendons. Also, your recovery for the next muscle group is going to be limited. So if you train the legs, the next day you go to do upper body, you're not going to have enough strength. And I know a lot of people just throw a ton of exercises at themselves and see what sticks and just keep training. I prefer to be more methodical with it. Like if I'm going to add an exercise in at this point, I'm going to have to take one out and rotate them. I'm looking forward to personally improving, like trying to put on more size on my arms, really everywhere, but I do want to focus on arms. I do want to focus on quads, and I'm looking forward to that. Ultimately, I need to be prepared for my workouts, which, like I said, I'm already battling sleep deprivation, which is not cool, not fun, and I don't recommend it. And that makes it a little bit more challenging, and having 2 jobs and kids and whatnot. But I'm going to make it work. I'm going to keep pushing. And, I'm weighing around 149, 150 right now. I was wanting to get to 145 by Thanksgiving, but I think I can't rush it at this point. I think you can aggressively diet in the early stages because you have a lot more body fat that you can just drop off, you know what I'm saying? But once you're actually leaner, you can't really rush this part. Like, this part's going to take time. It's going to take you being dialed in. And for me, I have to eat in such a way that I know for sure I'm not eating enough food, which makes me more uncomfortable and gives me a lot less energy, which I don't want anymore. I'm done. I'm tired of it. So I think for someone not stepping on stage, this is a good body fat to go ahead and call it off, 10, 12%, somewhere in there. It's not a certain body fat percentage. It's really just like a lifestyle, a point that you reach that the benefits aren't worth the drawbacks anymore. So that's all. But looking forward to eating more, sleeping as much as I can, still working out good, pushing my exercises, rotating some of them. I don't know if you guys noticed, I've been doing now like close grip bench press, although I recently watched another video of Alex Leonidas talking about close grip bench press, and I think I'm going to bring my hands a little bit closer. In this workout, in my latest workout here, I did it with 170 pounds, I believe. So kind of controlled reps, 170 pounds. It's kind of weird because I don't feel it a lot in my chest or my triceps. That's why I'm going to try to bring my hands a little bit more closer grip and see if I can eke out some more triceps out of this movement. But so far, I mean, this exercise selection is dialed in, and I like all the exercises that I'm doing. I've been doing chin-ups instead of pull-ups, really just trying to see if I can eke out any more bicep gains. I've also been watching videos, people talking about using a straight bar for bicep curls and not an easy bar. It's like some stuff that Mike Mentzer's talked about, and I'm willing to give it a try, although I sold a bunch of my attachments for my cable machine, so I don't even have a straight bar that rotates now. I tried it with a straight bar that was fixed, and it like slipped and it felt terrible. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But overall, the easy bar that I use is not that angled. It's like, instead of being straight, it's like barely turned, you know what I mean? There's no way that that's like bad for bicep. You're still doing an elbow flexion and your hand is still supinated. It's not neutral. It's not even semi-supinated. It's like, 90% supinated. But I'm going to probably try to find a straight bar that I can use just to try it out. If I can get a 5%, advantage toward a muscle group to make it grow, especially arms, like, I'm going to take that. And stuff like this is interesting because I have a certain genetic lottery, right? And I may not have genetics to have super humongous arms. If you look at a lot of the fit physiques online, the freakiest ones have huge arms, but like the rest of them don't. Like they have muscles all around, but nothing crazy. I think for me, my best muscle groups are my lats and my abs, actually. So nobody on here has really seen my abs. I think I barely had a video, a couple of videos back where I was flexing and kind of pulled my shirt up. But most people on here have definitely not seen my abs at all. But it's definitely like my second best body group, my muscle group, which is probably, like, if I ever competed, I would definitely do probably men's physique. I don't think I have a classic bodybuilding physique. I would need bigger legs, like a lot bigger legs. I think men's physique would fit my body better. But we'll see, I mean, it's tempting to compete when you look really good. I know people that don't compete or don't like that idea. They don't understand it. And I get where that's coming from. But like, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, wow, I'm built for this. Like, you feel like you should do it. If you were 6'5" and 300 pounds of muscle, you would look in the mirror and be like, I'm built to play football. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm built for athletics. And that's kind of the same thing. When you look in the mirror, you see your abs popping, your chest, your back, everything. You're like, bro, I'm built to step on stage and like beat these other guys. But I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. But it's in the back of my mind, deep in the back of my mind. I don't think I'm in a position where I can handle the stress of dieting that lean with everything else I have going on, for sure. I kind of just prefer to train on my own and have the results to myself. And I basically post to create like a workout vlog. Like, I'm not bragging or anything like that. Like, I'm surprised when I see my own physique. I'm surprised what I look like now and the progress I've made. So I'm really just posting because it's almost like a hobby. It's like a ritual for me. I film my workouts and post them. Even back when I used to train at Crunch or outdoors at parks, wherever I've trained, I've always tried to film it so I can see how I'm doing, so I can improve my form and record like what level I'm at. And I can always look back and see all of that and see like what I was capable of doing, what time period. So it's definitely important to track your lifts. I have not been tracking my lifts. I write down a little bit on paper, like, so I know about what weight to use. But like I've said before, once you get to most exercises, if you can do it 10 times, it's time to add weight. I think Romanian deadlift, if I can do it like 8 times, 8 to 10 reps, I'll probably add weight. And then if you are doing something that doesn't feel good at 8 to 10 reps, maybe you keep going to like 12. But really, there's almost no reason at all to do more than 12 reps, unless you're training for some kind of competition where you have to do more than 12 reps of something. But anyway, this is how I've been training. Most of my sets take around 60 seconds. Sometimes if it's too heavy, it'd be a little bit less, or if I move faster. So like the Romanian deadlifts, those sets take like 30 to 40 seconds. The rest of my sets usually take about a minute, give or take. So yeah, I'm looking forward to making more gains. And really, if you don't want to lose strength in a cut, then stop starting your cut using like the heaviest possible loads on earth. Use a moderate weight, use a manageable load, and take it through a controlled range of motion, contracting the muscles as intensely as possible. That's going to get you the most bang for your buck, you know. And I've actually increased my bicep curls on the cable preacher curl and on seated incline dumbbell curl. Those are with 35s now, because I got 12 reps the other day with 30s. So I got to move up at some point. You got to lift heavier weights at some point. You know, you can't lift light weights forever unless you change your form, right? If you start controlling the movement, going slower, stuff like that, then yeah, lighter weights. You might find that you are able to continue using light weights with a slower controlled form, because that makes the exercise a lot harder and you technically are stronger. You're just not showing it by the amount of weight that you're lifting. So that's fine too. But all in all, you want to have good technique with every rep that you perform, with every set. You want the entire exercise exposing your muscles to insane amounts of tension, and then you want to continue it until you can no longer perform any more concentric or even isometric contractions with your muscles, and you have to lower down and stop the exercise. This is how you train as hard as possible, get the most out of every lift, and pick exercises that target these muscle groups very direct. So thanks guys so much for watching.